Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to languages for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., that may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I'm your keeper, Keeper Michael, and we return to Masks of Nyarlathotep in our Cairo chapter. We are going to raise the curtain tonight, but before we do, I would like to spend a moment and acknowledge, at the time of this recording, the difficulties and the terrible situation that the people of Ukraine are being put into. It cannot go said enough how much they are in our thoughts this evening. And for our listeners who are in Ukraine and the surrounding area, we wish very much for you to be safe. And we hope for the a quick resolution to the situation as best as can be had. With that said, we are going to raise the curtain tonight on the movements, the slow, likely steady, perhaps a bit manic in some regard, movements of Sam. But before we do, we will get to introductions. So we are in the missing O'Shea formation. So to my right.
This is Morgan. I play Lillian Lane, and I'm not with the group at the moment.
You're not. Actually, you're resting.
I am.
You're resting at the end of the table.
This is Jake, and I'll be playing Jack Doyle. And I just want to say that I think last adventure game went better than I could have hoped for. I mean, it really went really well for me.
I think you had a couple of meat shields that helped out a ton.
Yeah.
All right, very good. And to Jack's right.
This is Lonnie. I'll be playing Adelsar. And my one pressing question is, who's wearing the girdle?
That's a great question. I can get you an answer for that in a little bit. To Adol's right.
This is James. I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund Tartenbach, and I will take this round to say...
Yes, after a wonderful dose of laudanum, the doctor is sleeping it off, as it were. And last but most certainly not least.
This is Alex playing Saint-Péron, who is currently trying not to bleed in strangers' backyards.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be any sort of a problem. I think you're going to bleed all over the place. The streets of Cairo outside of the residence of one Dr. Ali Kafour, where Sam has, after having extracted the girdle from the mosque, has taken the girdle to the house of Dr. Kafour in hopes of getting it identified or a deeper understanding found, or maybe he's planning on pawning it. I'm not really sure. That said, Sam.
Hey.
Why don't you tell me your approach of the house?
So on my way to Kafour's residence, I'm going to attempt to conceal my identity by dressing conservatively in I think they're called a niqab, with like the full-length skirt and the veil that I'll try to steal from some elite's laundry line in the doctor's neighborhood.
Okay. Why don't you give me a stealth roll, and we'll see if you can pull it off.
Oh my God. That's a failure. 98 out of 91.
If you'd like, you could either spend the luck, or you could push that roll.
Oh, I would love to push it.
You have no doubt. So why don't you tell the audience how you're pushing it?
Unable to get anything off of the laundry line, I'm actually going to slide into an open bedroom window. Just take something directly from a pile or a hamper.
Ooh, I like that. Abscond with some ladies' undergarments, perhaps?
That is a 52 out of 91.
Very good. So you creep your way into some person's bedroom, and you relieve them of a garment. You're not really certain if it's clean or not. but you relieve them of a long piece of white fabric.
Okay. I will do my best to conceal my identity and cover all of the mess that's been made upon my person before. So the doctor's house, is it just like a one-story?
It is a one-story.
Okay.
It's also packed in with a couple of other houses as well.
I see.
A lot of dense metro.
It's like the middle of the night, right?
It's the middle of the night.
Okay. And the streets are empty?
I don't know about empty, but
Well, here in this neighborhood, I'm guessing the doctor lives in like a reasonably okay area.
he lives in a fairly decent place.
Okay. And then I will try to remain relatively inconspicuous as I approach the front door, and I will give him a knock.
You think you're pretty inconspicuous when you walk up to the door. You give it a slight knock.
And I will keep an eye out.
There's definitely some sort of light on, maybe one or two at the residence. You can see through some of the windows here that there's some sort of light. So someone must be up.
But there's no movement. Am I hearing any movement?
You're not hearing any movement. You smell tea.
I'll move around the side of the house and try to get to one of the windows.
Okay.
Perhaps where the light is. If it's a one-story, I'll just stay low, I guess. And I'll try to get a peek inside.
You look inside. You see what looks like an office area. There's a light at the far space. The chair is empty. There's a book open, light on nearby.
I still hear nothing.
Yeah, you don't hear anything.
Is there another entrance that I can see? Is there like a back door to the house, or?
You'd have to check. You don't know. You haven't been around back.
Okay. Then I will continue moving around the house to see if I can get another angle of either that room or where the tea is coming from.
Okay. You move around the house. Why don't you give me a spot hidden roll?
It's a hard success, 23 under 68.
The back door is shut, but after careful visual examination, it doesn't appear to be locked.
I'll inspect it. Does it look like it was left open, or does it look like it was opened?
It looks like it was left open.
Okay. Then I will crack the door.
Just looking inside, you can tell that there's a light deeper in on the house, this second light. It must be in a living room. Perhaps it's some sort of lamp, or maybe there's a small... There aren't too many fireplaces in Egypt for these specific reasons. Not that it doesn't ever get cold, because it does. Just not as often. But yeah, there's a light kind of sitting there, probably 20, 30 so feet. Must be a living room. You see a couple of what look like couches and a center table, a glass on the table.
Is there anything in it?
You'd have to get a little closer. It looks like a brandy snifter.
And I don't hear any movement. Do I smell anything besides the tea?
No.
Right. And I will take a deep breath, and I will continue to move through the house, looking for signs of life, I suppose.
You move deeper into the house. The home feels a little colder than you expected it.
I'll kind of bristle a bit, pull the shawl closer.
You get through the kitchen and down the small hallway that leads to this living room area. And it's at that point you realize that there are no other noises in the house but you. The absence of sound is greatly unnerving.
Do I feel like I've fully explored it?
No.
Okay.
No, you haven't even seen the office. You know that's got to be through the living room, perhaps to the left. You're almost to the living room.
I will, suppose, put my back to a wall, feeling a little exposed.
You smell something on the air finally. It smells like copper.
I'll move my hand to my hip, slink toward the door.
Which door? The door you came in? Or the door in the office? Or...
Oh, I thought you said there was a doorway in the toward the office through the living room.
Yeah, there is. You believe that it is through the living room. That's the way you're going. So as you're getting ready to enter the living room is when you start smelling this.
Okay. Do I see anything?
You haven't yet. Continuing to the living room.
Yeah.
When you step into the living room, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. You see in the small hallway between the living room and the office, you see Dr. Kafour standing on his tiptoes. And underneath his neck is a long blade, which is being carried by someone behind him. They are in dark fabric, and they are wearing a very strange headdress with some sort of emblem in the middle of their forehead. And you can see the panic has washed itself over Dr. Kafour as his eyes meet yours.
Just to be kind of clear, does it look like the doctor's being held, or does it look like he's about to die?
It looks like the doctor is being held up, and he's trying to keep the blade at his throat from continuing to make its way into his skin. The copper, you can smell now much more readily, is coming from the very slightest of wound in the bottom of his neck.
How far is he from me?
He's probably only 10 to 15 feet. The trouble is, well, time, physics, all sorts of problems. Getting to his attacker isn't impossible, but Dr. Kafour likely does not make it through that exchange.
Then I will take the mutually assured destruction route, and I will move my hand from the machete to my shotgun scabbard, and I will pull it and step into the doorway.
You see the gentleman, or the man behind Dr. Kafour. He very quickly adjusts to create a perfect shield for himself.
Oh, I'm sure.
Give me a spot hidden.
That is an extreme success, 768.
To your immediate right, which is where the living room is, and then the front door just beyond it, there is a section of the space here, which is, of course, not illuminated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of that shadow coalesces a form, the form of a man. You literally watch him be birthed out of this shadow. There's a sickening, almost flesh sound that comes with it. Like when you rub your fingers into the palms of your hand, you can hear the exchange. So I'd like you to roll sanity for me.
Okay, that is a failure.
Okay, you can't push sanity rolls.
No.
But I will take 2 points of sanity from you, sir. As the shadows pull back across his frame and allow him finally and inexorably into this space, which again is probably about 15 or so feet from you. Not a very big room. This man, as he looks across from you, his tan skin, his well-polished hair, his broad smile, is anything but inviting.
I will step, I suppose, to keep them both in view.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure the other dude's going to reposition too. So
He does.
I just kind of keep them both in sight. And I will take that breath that I've been that I haven't taken yet.
It feels like your whole body rattles when you take it. You can feel the sweat on your palms as you grip the handle of the shotgun. Your pulse is pretty heavy too, especially given as how wounded you are. It's been quite the night for you. You hear this man's voice fill the space. You've done quite well.
Seems it's not over yet.
Mm-hmm. No, it isn't.
What's this about then?
Well, it is about you and the doctor here. He smiles at him. It seems that Dr. Kafour has broken our agreement. He assisted some friends of yours. And it also seems that you have acquired something that I had very, very difficult time trying to get a hold of. So I'm going to make this very simple for you. Whether you believe your life is worth anything or not is immaterial to me. You have an item which I want, and I am happy to allow you to leave the home and still draw breath, if you will simply place it here on the table and turn around and walk away.
You must be Omar.
Again, immaterial.
To me, perhaps. There are those who have a score to settle with you. I don't have what you're looking for.
you would come to this point in your life and lie.
I am many things. I am no liar.
So you do not have it.
Would you like to look under my skirt?
I would like to be a gentleman about this, if at all possible.
Why do you want it?
Immaterial.
Make your case.
I don't need to justify myself to you.
You'll never find it.
Won't I? I will find it. I can smell it. Every one of these items has a particular scent on the air, if you know what you're looking for.
Killing the doctor won't make it come to you any faster.
I do not care about Dr. Kafour.
Then let him go.
Well, why?
Why not if he's immaterial?
Oh, but he matters to you.
You really need to do your research.
I have done my research. Would you like to see it?
I want you to make your case.
Again, I have said no once. I will not do it again. Make a power roll for me, Sam.
That is a hard success, 14 under 50.
You feel your body contort, and you feel the inexorable pull of gravity that you cannot control. You feel your knees buckle, and you land really hard on them. If you'd like to make a firearms, we can.
To shoot Omar? I wouldn't mind shooting Omar. That sounds like fun.
I'm just saying it more of as an offering to you before the rest of it continues. I'm assuming you're going to want to follow through on threats.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll fire.
Okay. He's about 15 feet, so not point blank, but...
How much of a disadvantage would I be to shoot the guy holding Kafour?
You'd be at disadvantage unless you have a pulp talent that allows you to fire into melees.
I don't. Yeah, I'll shoot him. That is an extreme success, 374.
It's extreme success, so it's an impale. So it does maximum damage plus rolled damage.
So 46 plus 2.
Yep. So it does 26 base, and then you roll 46 plus 2.
42.
The gun goes off, and you see the fire belch out of it, and you watch the concussive force come out of it. And you watch Omar absorb the hit. The pellets impact his body. They rip through his suit. And he doesn't move an inch.
I don't bother with them.
And the next thing that happens is you get flattened on your chest as the continued weight of gravity is exerted on you.
If you kill me, you'll never find it.
Oh, I don't think so. You're going to tell me where you put it.
Why would I do something like that?
Pain can be quite the motivator.
You feel fingers grab the back of your skull. I'll get back to you in a minute. So, back at the safe house, Jack, there is a distinct feeling that something is missing here.
I know a couple of things are missing.
Really? What's missing?
Well, Sam and the girdle are missing.
Where would they have gone to?
Well, I can only assume, I'm hoping that he took it to Dr. Kafour.
The last time you saw Sam, he was leaving with it. He did mention, I believe, if memory serves correctly, he did mention he was taking it to Dr. Kafour.
True story.
I must have been busy with everybody else.
Well, you had an awful lot of, mosque-going men to coordinate with. You had an enormous beast from what is likely the outer plains come and
There is a lot going on. I could be forgiven for missing that. So I'm hoping that he's at with Dr. Kafour, which does me no good.
Yes,
because I don't know where Dr. Kafour even lives.
That's true.
And I don't want to leave here anyhow with everybody wounded and sleeping.
Around about, we'll say, just after midnight. It's got to be after midnight. The front door opens.
Sam?
No. A very bleary-eyed Lillian Lane walks in.
Lillian?
She is wrapped around her head with an enormous bandage.
Oh, well, I rushed to her, I guess. Are you okay?
No, I have a splitting headache. Am I still bleeding from behind? Like the back of my head?
You're not actively bleeding.
Her bandage isn't...
Isn't soaking through or anything?
It is not soaking through right now.
That's good. Kind of touched my head a little bit. I fell and hit my head.
Where were you?
On an adventure. I went and I found Warren Bessert and had a long conversation with him about the Carlisle expedition.
Come on, let's get you something hot.
Yeah, you two definitely, you can definitely see that she's struggling to move.
Mm-hmm.
She also smells a little funny. There's something acrid that covers her, like a scent.
Do I smell it too?
Oh yeah, you smell it. You know what it smells like.
Yeah, Warren, or Mr. Bessert, was partaking in some hashish.
Oh.
And I feel I was affected by it because we were in an enclosed area and he was smoking quite a bit. Do I still feel any of the effects from it, Mike?
Yeah, your head is a little bit buzzy, I guess is the best way to put it.
I make her some tea.
Okay, you make her some tea.
We had a really long conversation, and I'm just kind of struggling to get some of the details, but we have some places we need to go. I mean, like...
Yeah, we have several places we need to go.
We have some places, like... There was something wrong with Carlisle and others when they left Egypt. Like, there's just so many things.
Cool. Just take it easy, and we can talk about it later. Here's some tea. I put some whiskey in it.
Oh, and I heard somebody's voice.
Somebody's?
A man, when I fell, and I can't remember seeing him, but it was a very deep voice, and he knew my name. I didn't even tell Warren my name. I didn't introduce myself. I knew better. He didn't ask my name either. He was kind of crazy.
Give me a second here. I light a match,
Mm-hmm.
and I hold it up in front of her eyes.
What are you looking for, Jack?
I'm looking for dilation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Looks
It's
like you
right.
you have a concussion.
I've got something. But I really want to go. I was sleeping. I'm not sleeping anymore. I walked back all by myself
Yeah.
in the dark. It was so dark.
Probably not something she should do with a concussion.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to listen. I'm glad you're safe and back.
The guy knew my name.
How many times?
He had a very nice voice.
How many times have we talked about not going off alone? And yesterday, almost everybody wandered off by themselves, and Sam is missing right now.
Sam will be fine. He killed a cow.
Yeah. Listen,
That
some
poor
other
cow.
things have happened this evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we went to the mosque.
Yes.
Right. They were guarding an artifact that the Brotherhood needs, we believe, to resurrect Nitocris.
Who?
Nitocris.
Yeah.
The female mummy.
Oh. Okay. So, what kind of artifact?
It was a burial. It was like a ceremonial girdle of some type.
Oh,
Anyhow, so they've been attacked by the Brotherhood several times. We volunteered to help defend it, and we were attacked by another one of those creatures from the Carlisle mansion.
Oh, the winged creature.
Yeah,
Oh.
yes. The doctor was severely hurt.
Oh.
Sam was severely hurt.
Oh no, the doctor.
She's got a look of concern on her face. Like, yeah. So where's the doctor?
Doctor's upstairs.
Where's
Or is he on the couch?
The doctor is on the couch.
Okay.
He never made it back upstairs because the doctor was treated on the couch, so he's not too far, actually.
Is everybody going to be okay? I mean, Sam has apparently disappeared, so...
Well, I'm hoping he took the girdle to Dr. Kafour.
Why does Dr. Kafour need the girdle?
Well, he might be able to help figure out a way to destroy it or protect it better or something.
Everybody, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
That's good.
I was almost eaten, but other than that, I'm fine.
Well, I'm glad you weren't eaten. But so what's the plan? Other than destroy this girdle that we really need to go to the pyramid that the Carlisle expedition went to.
Oh, I agree.
Like inside it. that is where they got changed
Okay. Yeah.
with the Black Pharaoh.
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Okay. Because, Ward Besser was crazy. He was. I feel really bad. I felt really, really bad. I gave him money to try to, so he could return home to France. Hopefully, he uses it for that and not opium.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, my head really hurts.
Yeah. Can I look at her bandage?
Yeah, absolutely. As you look at her bandage, you probably want to roll first aid. Doctor, laudanum or not, the talking in the room wakes you up. As soon as the talking wakes you up, you get a really strange sensory input. You smell hash, like burned hash, like instantly.
Who's going through my things?
Nobody's going through your things, Doctor.
I
Go back to bed.
I
62 over 31. I fail.
Yeah, she looks fine.
Is the other doctor still here?
No, he's gone.
Okay.
That street doc is gone. He got paid his money. He's gone.
Yeah,
Street
I
doc.
smacked Jack's hand away from my bandage. Don't touch my bandage. I'll be fine. I just need to go lay down.
That's probably a bad
That's-
idea.
that
Maybe I'll
is-
go sit next to the doctor on the couch.
Yes, come
Yes.
come here, Elliot, and sit here next to me.
Maybe the doctor can look at you.
No, you said he was hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
He is hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. I sit in a chair next to the couch.
I'm sure you can see it from
Yeah. What happened? What does it look like?
He's bandaged from like stomach and legs and shoulder, I believe, if memory serves correctly. He looks like he got attacked by a wild animal.
Okay. Doctor.
You should see the other guy.
Oh. I can only imagine. I yell over, Jack, did you see the doctor?
Yeah. Yes, I saw the doctor.
Otto, you wake up to someone shouting.
Literally like
Quiet.
3 feet away.
Everybody else is sleeping. Quiet.
I scrubbed the sleep out of my eyes. What time is it?
Oh, it's probably 2 a.m. At least it feels like it.
This is incredibly early. What are they yelling about? Oh my God.
American things.
Well, that's how we talk, okay?
I mean, there's a reason why Lillian never partaked in the smoking of things back at the parties in America.
Jack, I need you to help me to my room if you can.
Yeah.
What was given to me before is beginning to wear off, and I'm starting to feel more and more of me.
Why don't we bring you your medicine so you don't have to get up? Should you be moving?
Yeah, why don't you stay there? We'll get you whatever you need. What do you need?
My back.
Okay. Make sure your bag's probably down here. Because you probably brought it with.
Dr. Lillian smells like ash.
Doc leans over a little.
Why are you smelling me?
That is not the question. The question is, why do you smell?
I was in a very enclosed room with a man that really likes to smoke ash.
And how do you feel?
I'm sure in a couple hours I'm gonna feel my head's gonna hurt really bad.
But right
More
now,
than it
you
does
don't feel
now. No, my head hurts bad. No, I hit my head. I don't handle my hash well.
It's unfortunate. Doc pulls a small amount of hash out of his bag. Looks at it, puts it back in the bag with a chuckle, and then pulls out probably psilocybin acid, something to dull the pain.
While they're catching up, I'm going to continue writing as much as I can remember about fighting that creature into my journal.
The biggest thing that stood out to you was it never really felt like small arms fire did anything to it. The things that it cared about was the blade, that the sword that eventually went to Otto,
And the machete that...
the machete that Samuel wielded, and then in some ways concentrated automatic gunfire did seem to have some sort of
Just massive damage.
yes. Maybe a grenade would work.
Dynamite.
Right. Dangerous
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Elephant gun.
You could tell that the thing had some sort of resistance to just regular old average weaponry.
And then I'll just like jot down like the what it can do, stuff like that. Just, as much as I can get down. So
Sure.
that
Absolutely. Doctor, you get up to your bedroom, and likely with the help of Jack. And Lillian, you get to bed. And after all of that, the only two people left awake in the house are Otto and Jack. Because all of the up and down the stairs is just too much for you.
Yeah, I sort of dressed, and because it's 2 a.m, we shouldn't be doing anything, but I stumble out to see what's going on and see what looks like a hospital coming up the stairs at me.
It looks like a hospital, but it doesn't smell like one.
No.
Like when Lillian passes you, she smells like a hash bar.
Yeah.
She has a head wound. Strange.
Will somebody be checking on me while I'm sleeping to make sure I am still breathing?
Otto, did you get any sleep?
Yes.
Just probably a few stray hours. From a little bit from exhaustion, obviously.
Could you watch the house? Sam's not back yet.
Where did he go?
He took the girdle and he left
By himself.
by himself. I'm guessing because he disappeared somewhere in the midst of all of the chaos.
I internally curse. Internally. At a very loud, extended volume.
Do you know where Doctor Kafour lives?
Yes. Yes, I've been there.
I don't want to bring you with, but somebody needs to stay and watch this place.
If Shakti knows we have the girdle,
He'll come here, I know,
why would he come here?
because he'll think that we have it here.
If he thinks we have it here, do you think I'll be able to stop him?
That's fair. But, at least there's somebody here who can help defend, because nobody else is in any position to do so, except for Maeve.
Where is Miss O'Shea?
She's up in bed. You know what? Why don't you come with me? It shouldn't take too long. Hopefully. We'll even go out the back door. But that's up to you.
I honestly don't know what to do here, because he's right in that we have wounded people here who need somebody to watch over them.
Right, there's not a good answer.
Can I hear this exchange in the hallway?
You probably haven't passed out totally yet.
Okay. Jack, if you help me back downstairs, prop me up in a chair, I can at least keep an eye on the door and give the others enough time to move.
I hate that idea.
I'm not particularly fond of it myself, but, needs must when the devil drives.
Okay, I'll do that, but you've got to keep a shotgun with you.
Of course, I was not going to keep my cane with me.
It's the easiest thing to use. Okay. We'll do that.
All right. So you guys are going to be taking off and going towards Dr. Kafour's house.
Mm-hmm.
While that's happening, I'm going to have some fun with Sam. You are face first, Sam, on the floor of Dr. Kafour's house. And this hand is on the back of your head. It's, in the moment, very troubling because you can't seem to lift your head up. But you feel your skull get turned towards Dr. Kafour. You see him still on his tippy toes, still trying to dance away from the blade of this knife that this assailant is wielding against him. And try as he might, whomever this man is, who has pinned you to the ground, Dr. Kafour doesn't matter to you. And it's laughable that someone would try to make you feel for another human being, because human beings are insignificant. And you know that.
It's a shame, really.
It is.
It's a waste.
The voice over you says, I admit, even in your weakened state. Oh, is that blood?
Mm-hmm.
You are bleeding. How unfortunate. You can feel your body get pressed a little further, almost like he's squeezing a wineskin. I find it very interesting that you would resist this much, that you would go through this much pain for for truly just a bauble, yes? Is it simply because I want it?
If I say yes, will you let me up?
No, I would not be letting you up, but I am going to be helping you with something. Tell me, how familiar are you with the Black Pharaoh?
Nifrin Ka, who dwells in the shadow before the light comes, fear of shadows, right?
You get the words. You get most of the way through Nefrin Ka, and your captor pats the back of your head. Good. You know of him then. Tell me, do you fear the Black Pharaoh?
I don't know.
Let's find out. Roll sand.
That is a success, 59 under 61. Phew.
Very good.
Oof.
You want to pass that for sure. I will take 1 point of sanity on a success.
Stop. Stop poking me.
Now. Do you hear him on the wind? He is there. See him in the shadows there on the wall? He watches you. He tells me he saw your friend, the detective from America, Mr. Doyle. He saw him from the shadows. He watched him.
Does he talk as much as you two?
Oh, indeed. He has much to prophesize. He steps away from you. The pressure on you continues. What I am going to do is leave you something. He reaches down into Dr. Kafour's stomach. You see his flesh, the fingers on this man's hand rupture their way through Dr. Kafour's stomach. Just as easy as if it was air, there was no resistance. And Dr. Kafour lets out a vicious and unwelcomed cry, which trembles along inside your ears. And slowly but surely he begins to pull out Dr. Kafour's lower intestine. And he just allows it to begin unraveling there in his living room.
I will shamelessly look on in morbid fascination.
Indeed you will. He takes this intestine as it flows out. As the light begins to leave Dr. Kafour's eyes, he takes it and begins winding it together, almost as if he's making something. And this intestine begins to burble and groan on its own as eyes and teeth sprout along its edges. You see this mystical energy leap from the man's hands and intertwine around the intestines as it builds up into a creature of the most vile shape and form, alien to the human form and alien to anything that you've known. It has multiple orifices, each sprouting eyes and teeth, and it seems to breathe in and out with some sort of rather forced induction. It shivers every time it breathes, and you can hear the teeth along these orifices tap. In the center of it, as it breathes, you can see a wide and swelling tongue that rolls out from its mouth, which you only assume is its mouth. The tongue is far too wide for the body, and on it there are rivulets and markings, which you're fairly certain are skin marks used to belong to Dr. Kafour. He's but a husk now. His organs seem to have been transferred into this creature. The insides of him spill out all over the floor, and given the amount of blood inside the human body, your face and mouth is now being coated by what was left over from Dr. Kafour. The man turns to you and says, I'm going to leave this as an offering. The next one I make will be of someone you do care about. He moves over closer to you, lapping at the blood. As it licks your face, you're going to roll sanity for me.
That is a success, 42 over 60.
Very good. I take 2 points of sanity from this regard.
Stop!
But you learn a very critical thing. The being in front of you is an apparition. You shake it off. You shake the blood off of your face. It evaporates into the ether. The creature evaporates as well. Dr. Kafour is still standing, blade to his throat, in seemingly reasonable health.
Wait, so is Omar still there? Omar's gone?
He, first of all, for clarity's sake, he has not announced himself as Omar.
Well, no, I called him Omar.
Correct. So the man you call Omar is still there. He seems to be gauging your reaction.
To the beast thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still pinned, right?
You are still pinned.
I can take you to it, but I need to know that you can let the doctor go.
Ah, a barter. I like this. He raises his hand and you feel yourself come off the floor. And like into the air. Come now. As I close my fist, you will lose your breath. You see his fingers begin to move inward. Where is it?
You picked the wrong one to torture.
He closes them halfway. You can feel like your right lung start to collapse.
I'll sputter a whole lot.
You cough. You're able to breathe still.
Last chance.
The man turns and nods at his associate, and the associate drops the blade at his Kafour's throat, and the doctor, collapses forward onto his living room floor, coughing and racking. The man turns back to you. Deal. Give it to me.
Can I move?
You're not sure? You don't have control of your shotgun any longer.
Sure, no, I'm sure I dropped it. I'm just trying to get to my feet.
You see him lower you down to the ground.
I look at the doctor. I say, go.
Yeah. Dr. Kafour wastes no time in running out his front door.
Oh, God, I hate you. I will make a show of it for sure.
Sure.
I'm making the process as believably agonizing as possible. Can I roll acting?
Certainly. You're a very good actor.
That's a 60 under 74.
You acted up. I suppose, tell me what you're doing.
So I'm going to make a show of coughing up plenty of sputum because I got a bunch of that laying around. I will probably do my best to fail pretty hard during the long stretch of the house.
Sure.
And once I get to the living room, I will probably put my hand up for a second and say something to the effect of, this would be a lot easier if I could rest a bit. It's been a long night.
You get picked up off your feet.
Oh.
No rest. I want it now.
I start walking.
He walks with you, close enough to watch your movements, but not close enough to be directly within striking distance.
Sure.
After you get towards the kitchen, he seems a lot more sure of his steps. He walks out the back door with you, and he gives you a heartbeat of a wait. Well?
I keep walking.
Okay.
I begin leading him toward the dump.
Your bag is in this back area, yes?
Yeah, it's just kind of stashed where I started lurking and skulking.
Sure. You begin leading him out towards the dump, and he stops with you. He turns you around in midair. You are a liar.
No, I'm not.
It is closer, isn't it?
I mean, we have to go to it right now.
Yes, now. You feel your chest compress.
I will let out a woeful, agonizing scream outside.
You see one thing, Jack, and you hear another. You see Dr. Kafour running down the street in a blind panic. He is uncontrollably upset. And then you hear on the air from somewhere in the city beyond an agonizing scream.
I start running. I pull my gun and I start running.
Dr. Kafour meets the two of you midstream, and you can tell that he's bleeding from the neck.
Sam?
At the house.
Get somewhere safe. Keep going.
Are you continuing along with him, Model?
Yes, I'm continuing with him.
Okay. So the two of you come upon Dr. Kafour's house, and it doesn't take terribly long to hear that there's something going on in the backyard. So for your part, Sam, you can feel that this man is doing something with you, and it isn't until the third or fourth step and changing direction you understand what he's doing.
It's forcing me to go to it.
He's using you like a dowsing rod.
Yeah.
And he walks towards your bag with you. So Jack and Otto, you happen upon a scene which begs your brain. It makes you question reality. There's a man. He is dressed in a reasonably fitted white shirt with a black suit coat over it. He is with he's got some sort of jewelry on, and he is holding another person, Sam, you believe, in the air, like off the ground, without touching him. And you see him moving through this space towards a section on the grounds here.
Does Sam have the girdle? Does it look like?
You can't. It's first of all, it's dark out.
Well, I know, but I know the chest that was in.
It doesn't. He's not holding it.
Okay, so it's dark. I can't see the man.
You can't see him in well definition. There are some lights here, lights along the house, right? Lights in some of the nearby streets. So I would say that there is dim or diffused light. It's about
like a backyard.
Yeah.
Okay. Either of them have seen us?
You don't believe so. They both look fairly concentrated on something.
Okay, I'm going to take a heartbeat to aim.
Okay. You get over your bag, Sam, and then you get cast aside like a sack of potatoes.
That's when I'll shoot.
Do I have any control over my body?
Not until you reach the ground. Like you get flung.
I was going to try to grab the duffel.
You're going to be too far away from it to
fine.
grab. The best you could probably do is make some sort of acrobatics or athletics or some sort of, if you want to control your fall, that's more what I'm concerned about.
That's fine, sure. Dex or...
I'm going to say that you can make a dex roll. Dex is fair.
Okay. That is a 49 over 75.
Yeah, you land without injuring yourself. That is about as best as you could do in this situation. He flings you way out of arc to get anywhere near your bag.
Sure.
And when you see Sam get flung, you realize there's an immediate opening.
Yeah. 3 shots.
Okay.
That's 66 under 84. 7 under 84.
That's an impale.
Yeah. And 20 under it. That is also an impale, actually. That's an extreme. Yeah.
20 under 84.
Mm-hmm. It's a quarter.
And extremes are fists. Fists. But you have a couple of good shots. So roll regular damage, and then we'll figure out your impale damage, and then you can roll regular damage again.
12 on the first one.
Okay, roll damage.
I'll do the third one, and then we'll worry about the impale.
Sure.
Well, that's only 3 for the third one. And the impale again. So that would be 19 on the second one. So.
Okay. Otto, you hear the Jack's gun go off again. And you're getting a little too familiar with the way of that sound. It resounds through the streets of Cairo. Each shot lands square where it's supposed to. Shoulder, center mass, etc. And you watch this man get shot. And he walks through them. Now the both of you are going to roll me Sandy.
Hey, I made that.
That's good.
53 over 50.
So while this isn't terribly much, you do two points of sanity damage. Otto, that's simply impossible. Jack, he turns to face you, and he says something. You're not sure what. It's on the wind. It doesn't reach you. At least the audio doesn't. It's a word, it's a name, it's a phrase, it's something. And then something collides with you. Some invisible force collides with you.
All right.
And so, I would like you to roll con.
36 under 55.
Very good. Very good. You take 10 points of damage.
Ouch. Okay.
You are lifted off your feet and flung half as many yards. So you're flung 5 yards. As you get collided into with just an invisible force. It feels like getting hit by a brick wall. Adolf, any interest?
I see Sam fly one way,
You do.
and this guy's looking at Jack.
He is at the moment, yes.
I will make a beeline towards Sam.
Okay. You make a beeline towards Sam. Sam, this man reaches down into your bag and retrieves what he's looking for.
That's a shame. I'm not getting up.
He turns and walks down the street. You get to Sam, Otto.
I will lay there breathing.
Did I see him take the girdle?
So yeah, you see him take out a very shiny string of metal and gemstones.
I start laughing.
They want it a lot worse than I do at this point, so...
Okay. You begin laughing.
And what are you going to do with that?
Man doesn't reply to you.
Because the body is gone.
He keeps walking. You do see him pause for a moment, just a moment, before he continues to walk.
There are 1,000 wells in Cairo. You'll never find it.
Jack, you get to your feet after being flung.
I go to Sam.
Yeah, you rush over. He looks
Give me the machete.
bloody and beaten.
Give me the machete now.
What?
The machete.
I will sit up.
Listen, you dumb son of a bitch. This is your fault. Give me the goddamn machete.
You even know what happened here?
Give me the machete.
You just pull your gun on me?
Yes, I did.
I take it off. You would kill me for this.
I would kill you for the girdle.
He would have killed me and Kafour.
Oh my god.
You get the machete in hand.
I take off running.
I take off after him.
You run into the Cairo streets. The person you're after is clearly in the wind. And that is where I'm going to call this episode to a close. So thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Masks of Nyarlathotep. We will be back next week with another installment of the craziness in Cairo.